Oh my God, somebody grab a camera because VH1 might need to roll out a whole new spin-off just for this chaos. This isn't just drama, it's relationship annihilation, career-ending scandal, and a betrayal so deep it might shake the entire love and hip-hop universe. Yandy Smith just dropped a bombshell revelation, and the internet is still trying to process the shock. But hold up, what's even wilder? Instead of confronting him with words, Yandy took it to a whole new level. She slapped him. Yes, you heard that right. Not a heated argument, not a dramatic walkout. A full-on, no-holds-barred slap that left everyone in the room speechless. But here's the million-dollar question. What exactly did Mendeecees Harris do to deserve this explosive reaction? Because whatever it wasn't just your typical reality TV misunderstanding. He was caught red-handed, betraying Yandy in the most gut-wrenching way possible. And the person involved? It wasn't just some random stranger. No, this hits way closer to home. Someone from Yandy's own inner circle. This is reality TV history in the making, and fans are losing their minds over the absolute humiliation and disrespect. We all know Yandy and Mendeecees have been through it all: legal battles, business struggles, family drama. But this is different. This isn't about jail time or a failed deal. This is personal. A line has been crossed that might be impossible to come back from. And now, the burning questions. Who is this mystery person? How did Mendeecees get caught? And did Yandy really stop at just one slap, or did things escalate even further? This is an absolute firestorm that no one saw coming, and it might just be the most jaw-dropping scandal Love and Hip Hop has ever seen. Strap in, because we're only scratching the surface. This isn't just another bump in the road. This is betrayal at its worst. And if there's one thing we know about Yandy, it's that she does not take betrayal lightly. In high-profile relationships, rumors are just part of the package. But as the evidence stacked up, it became impossible to ignore. First, there were the late-night calls, too frequent to be business-related. Then came the cryptic text messages, vague, secretive, the kind that make you question everything. And finally, the breaking point, leaked footage. But this wasn't just any video. It was security footage from a private location. And in it, Mendeecees was seen getting way too close to someone Yandy had always trusted. The worst part? This wasn't some random woman. No, this was someone Yandy considered family, a person she had defended, confided in, and stood by through thick and thin. The betrayal cut deep, and now, the biggest question remains: who is this mystery woman? And more importantly, is Mendeecees' relationship with Yandy Smith officially done for good? The footage told the story in excruciating detail. He was seen whispering in her ear, his hand lingering on her back just a little too long. Their body language screamed something more than friendship. And when the truth finally surfaced, Yandy didn't wait for explanations. She took action. Sources say she pulled up unexpectedly to a private gathering where Mendeecees and this mystery woman were spending time together. The moment she walked in, the energy in the room shifted. Conversations stopped. Eyes darted toward Mendeecees, whose face drained of all color. Yandy locked eyes with him, and for a brief moment, everything stood still. But she wasn't about to play the fool. Instead of waiting for excuses, she handled it head-on. You would think a man caught red-handed would at least try to explain himself. But Mendeecees? He just sat there, probably realizing in real time that his entire world was about to collapse, and then boom, a clean, brutal slap across the face. Not a light tap, not a warning. A full-force, no hesitation slap that sent shockwaves through the room. Gasps filled the air. Yandy was livid, and the woman? She looked guilty as hell. The cameras started rolling, and within minutes, the footage was everywhere. Social media exploded. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everyone had an opinion. The betrayal wasn't just speculation anymore. It was undeniable, and Mendeecees had nowhere to hide. This wasn't just messy. It was a full-blown reality TV catastrophe. And just when you thought the drama had peaked, Yandy turned her attention to the woman involved. The tension in the air was thick, and before anyone could process what was happening, the video had already gone viral. Fans were split down the middle. Some believed Yandy should have handled it more privately, while others were convinced she did exactly what needed to be done. But the biggest question on everyone's mind, who was this woman? Because let's just say, this name is going to shock you. To fully grasp the depth of this betrayal, we need to rewind a bit. This isn't the first time Mendeecees has raised eyebrows. The warning signs were always there. We just weren't paying enough attention. Some people wanted the whole story, but let's be honest, Mendeecees wasn't walking away from this scandal unscathed. Damage control? Nowhere to be found. And that's a huge problem. Still skeptical? Let's not forget, this is the same man who, on national television, admitted that if the roles were reversed, he wouldn't have held Yandy down the way she did for him while he was locked up. That was the first red flag. Then came the legal drama around their marriage. Yandy proudly declared she was a Harris, only for the truth to come out. She never actually signed the marriage papers. And now? Well, now we've reached a breaking point. Mendeecees caught up in yet another scandal. At this point, how many more chances is Yandy really willing to give him? The situation was already a disaster. But the real gut punch? The person involved was shady, and honestly, was anyone even surprised? Let's rewind for a second. Mendeecees tried to play it cool in public, acting like it was all just gossip. But deep down, he knew. He had been caught. Again. And this time, the internet wasn't letting it slide. Social media erupted, dissecting every detail while he stayed silent. No statements, no explanations. And as expected, the lack of response only fueled more speculation. Who was this mystery woman? Someone from Love and Hip Hop, a business associate, or someone even closer? The theories spread like wildfire. Fans swore it had to be Kimbella or Erica Mena, both of whom have had complicated relationships with Yandy. Others took a deep dive into old footage, analyzing every interaction Mendeecees ever had with other women on the show, trying to spot clues. But before we even get into that, let's talk about the real damage here: Yandy's empire. She's not just a reality star caught in a messy scandal. She's a businesswoman, an entrepreneur with major brand partnerships. And right now, every move she makes is under the microscope. Yandy's entire empire, her businesses, endorsements, and brand partnerships, is now hanging in the balance. What started as just another love and hip-hop scandal has spiraled into something far bigger, putting everything she's built at risk. According to reports, some companies are reconsidering their deals with her, especially after a notorious Instagram gossip page dropped an exclusive claiming they had inside intel on the woman at the center of this chaos. And then, the moment of truth arrived. The identity was finally revealed, and let's just say, nobody saw this coming. Get ready, because it was none other than Judy Harris, Mendeecees' own mother. Yes, you read that correctly. The internet lost its mind, gossip blogs exploded, social media went into a frenzy. This wasn't just drama. This was next-level love and hip-hop madness. An anonymous source claims that Yandy had been suspicious of Mendeecees and Judy's unusually close relationship for months. But even she couldn't have imagined this. And trust, this is only the beginning. Once the full truth is out, Yandy might just burn everything to the ground. The revelation sent shockwaves through their world. Confusion, disgust, disbelief. And above all, questions. At first, Yandy dismissed the whispers because, after all, this was his mother. But then the signs started stacking up. The real bombshell? A phone bill. While managing the family business, Yandy stumbled upon Mendeecees' call logs and noticed something strange. Judy's number was the most frequently dialed. At first, she brushed it off as regular mother-son check-ins. But then the red flags started waving. Judy always defended Mendeecees, even when he was undeniably in the wrong. There were bizarre inside jokes that didn't quite make sense. And no matter what, Judy was always there. Every time Mendeecees was busy, she wasn't far behind. But the biggest shock of all? Yandy soon discovered something that changed everything. Timestamps: 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. What could a mother and son possibly have to discuss in the dead of night? That was the moment everything took a dark turn. Let's be real. Judy has always been way too involved in Mendeecees' relationships. The inside jokes? A little too personal. Some of the messages? Completely inappropriate. But when the leaked texts surfaced, they were worse than anyone could have imagined. We're talking pet names, suggestive messages, conversations that no mother and son should ever be having. The internet was in absolute shock. Mendeecees kept repeating, "This is crazy, she's my mother." But let's not forget, Judy has a long history of manipulation and control. This is the same woman who has gone to war with Yandy over the smallest things. The same woman who once faked a marriage license between Yandy and Mendeecees just to prove a point. Judy has always acted like she was in some kind of territorial battle over her son. And that level of obsession, that's exactly why people started to believe this scandal might actually be real. Multiple sources claim Yandy didn't hesitate for a second. She went straight home and started packing Mendeecees' things, all while publicly calling out Judy on social media. That's right. She wasn't waiting for a press release, a statement, or some half-hearted excuse. She wanted him out immediately. When Mendeecees got home, he was met with a brutal reality check, his clothes stuffed into trash bags sitting by the front door. And Yandy? She was standing there, arms crossed, eyes filled with fire. "Take this and leave." Instead of owning up to anything, Mendeecees was offended. "You're really going to believe internet lies over me? You really think I'd do something this insane, Yandy?" But Yandy wasn't listening. She had already made up her mind, and just to drive her point home, she blasted a song from her speakers, one that made it very clear she didn't need to think twice. Mendeecees tried to argue, but it was too late. The decision had already been made. And then, as if the situation wasn't wild enough, Judy went live on Instagram. And when I tell you she was crying while pretending to be the victim, Judy was out here playing the victim, and it was embarrassing to watch. She went live, sobbing about how cruel people were, but the internet wasn't having it. The comment section was ruthless. People were calling her out left and right. "Ma'am, you've been acting suspicious since season 1. The way you look at him is weird." And then came the classic denial. Judy tried to spin the narrative, saying, "Why would you spread these disgusting rumors about me and my son? Yandy is just trying to get attention." But that backfired horribly. Just when she thought things couldn't get worse, more receipts dropped. A former assistant, someone who had worked closely with the Harris family for years, came forward with an anonymous confession. And what they revealed? Absolutely shocking. They claimed that Judy had been obsessively controlling Mendeecees behind the scenes for years. Allegedly, she wasn't just meddling, she was handling his finances, making major life decisions for him, and even manipulating his relationships at points. This point, it wasn't just wild internet speculation anymore. The puzzle pieces were coming together, and people started to realize something was seriously off about Judy and Mendeecees' relationship. And the damage? It was done. Mendeecees' reputation was in absolute shambles. Then, the final blow. Judy finally admitted that Yandy had officially ended things. That was it. Game over. But let's be clear, this isn't just random gossip. Meanwhile, Yandy isn't just moving on, she's out for blood. And according to sources, Yandy isn't playing around. She's going for full custody of their children. And honestly, who can blame her? The situation has spiraled so far out of control that there are even whispers that Child Protective Services might start looking into Mendeecees' past. Some believe this could escalate into a full-blown family investigation. And if even half of these accusations hold weight, Mendeecees has no business being around their children. Yandy is determined to protect her family, and she's not about to let his mess jeopardize her kids' well-being. But if you thought the drama stopped there, think again. Because what Yandy did next left everyone stunned. After kicking Mendeecees out, she dropped even more receipts. And when I say she let the internet have a field day, I mean she gave them everything they needed to drag both him and Judy for absolute filth. But Yandy didn't stop at social media exposure. No, she took things to the next level, straight to court. Let's talk about these legal moves because Yandy handled this like a true chess master. First, she filed an urgent petition for sole custody, making it clear that this wasn't just a breakup. This was a full severance. She wasn't just removing Mendeecees from her life, she was cutting him out entirely. But what she did next sent shockwaves through the entire love and hip-hop world. Because this wasn't just about custody. She had a much bigger fight ahead, and she was more than ready for it. It's a bold, strategic move. One designed to get under Yandy's skin, and let's be honest, everyone knows it. Just when we thought the drama had hit its peak, Judy cranked it up to a whole new level. Instead of taking a step back, she went full throttle with a media blitz. Podcasts, interviews, Instagram lives, any platform willing to give her the mic. But instead of shutting down the rumors, she poured gasoline on the fire. Her defense? People just don't understand the kind of bond I have with him. Excuse me, Judy, what does that even mean? The internet wasted no time dragging her for that one. Comments flooded in, calling her out. Lady, you're not helping yourself. And the way you talk about him is just weird. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get messier, they did. The scandal spiraled so wildly out of control that even Bravo, the powerhouse network behind Love and Hip Hop, had to step in. Why? Because producers are panicking over what this circus could do to the show's reputation. This isn't just your typical reality TV drama anymore. It's a full-blown PR disaster. Meanwhile, Yandy is out here flourishing. While Judy and Mendeecees are drowning in controversy, Yandy is securing business deals, focusing on her kids, and leveling up in every way imaginable. She's playing it smart, staying silent while her enemies dig their own graves. Industry insiders are whispering that Bravo is seriously considering cutting ties with both Judy and Mendeecees. And if that happens, it's game over. No more reality TV checks, no more club appearances, no more brand deals. Just like that, their influence crumbles. And the best part? Yandy doesn't have to lift a finger. She's letting time, the internet, and their own recklessness do all the work. Because at the end of the day, the truth has a way of coming out. And when it does, Judy and Mendeecees will have no one to blame but themselves. But hold on, this story is far from over. If there's one thing we know about Love and Hip Hop, it's that the drama never truly ends. So now the real question is,